Hey guys, what is up, and I welcome you to another League of Legends video. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about Vel'Koz and just more about how he should be played, the builds, the skill orders, which you should get and why. And overall, just a very basic, quick, and summed up video on how to play this champion, or at least how I think he should be played. So first things first, let's go into the build. There are usually 3 rune pages that I will decide between for my casters in the middle lane, and this applies to Vel'Koz as well. This is one of the 3 pages, so this is obviously a page that I would use if I'm up against an AP in the middle lane. The second page is also pretty self-explanatory. If I'm up against an AD middle and I need armor, I just simply run that page. What's special about that page is that I don't waste slots in the blue runes for MR. I simply just get AP per level to scale into late game. And the last page is simply my full offensive AP page. So between these, you obviously decide what you do based on the matchup, and you should be pretty good to go. If you could only have one of the 3 pages, I suggest you take the complete AP offensive page, as it will fit the scenarios a bit more, not having to kind of hope that you're up against a magic dealing champion or hope you're up against an AD type champion. And these are the masteries I used on Vel'Koz. Overall, my standard AP page. While the laning phase is still happening in this video, let's talk about it as well. Overall, I think his laning phase is actually really safe because you can poke with really good abilities like his Q and W from afar, and once you get his E, if you ever land it, you can do a lot of burst damage to that champion. And plus, it's a very good skill to get someone off of you if they dive right on you, like an assassin or a jungler. So that being said, what I usually like to max is his W first. His W by far deals the most damage out of all his skills, but of course you have to hit both of them, which you have to rely on being able to either land your E into W or land a Q to slow them just enough for the second part of W to hit as well. On top of that, maxing W first also gives you the opportunity to push the lane extremely fast. Whenever a new wave is coming in, you throw your W once, it deals damage to almost all of them, if not all of them, and then you throw another W and all of them will die, since not only do you deal a lot of damage, but your passive will be procced on all those minions. Plus, his W does go obviously through minions, while his Q can be somewhat easy to avoid if you're up against a player who actually kind of knows what they're doing, more or less. After that, you obviously want to max your Q, since it is your next highest damage dealing spell other than your ultimates. So that is how I usually want to level up my skills. While you're in the laning phase, you want to try to poke with your Q and W as much as you can, because they don't really cost a whole lot of mana. And once you get a bit of hurt onto them, you want to start looking for those E engages. If you ever land your E, you will do so much damage. So let's go over the combo that you want to do with him. You will actually see right here on the rise, you throw your E, W, Q, follow it up with your ultimate right away, and then just continue channeling your ultimate right on top of them, and chances are they will die. Because if you land your ulti for the full 2.5 second duration, you will actually get 3 stacks of your passive, which at level 18, it'll be roughly 600 true damage, all in a matter of seconds. But that's usually if you're trying to catch an unsuspecting foe. Another option in the laning phase is to first throw your Q, try to apply the slow, which in turn will let you land your E a lot easier, and then once you land your E, you follow it up with a nice W double hit. But that's geared a bit more towards just harassing rather than just going all out and bursting someone down. Right in this clip, you're going to see another pretty nice example of how to burst someone down. Not as clean as the other one, but still works. I missed my W, but that's okay, because I do so much damage that I didn't even need the W. The ulti is just amazingly strong. One really important thing that people may forget quite often with this champion is that his ultimate does apply a very solid slow, especially at rank 3. So you mustn't always use it just for the damage, you can also use it for the slow if someone is trying to run away. But let's go into his items now. Like I said, his skills really do not cost a lot of mana, but the cooldown is not the biggest as well, so you will be spamming quite a bit. So with that said, you usually want to go one of 3 items: a tier 2 Archangel Staff, Athene's Unholy Grail, or Morella Nomicon. Of the 3, I usually prefer Morella Nomicon because it does offer that really nice CDR, which I just personally love. But of course, if you're up against someone who deals a lot of magic damage in the lane and you just need the MR, then you probably want to go Athene's. If you want to scale a bit harder into late game and sacrifice a bit of damage in the early phases, Archangel Staff might be the way. But again, of the 3, I personally prefer Morella Nomicon. After you decide which of those 3 that you want to get, you have 2 more paths to choose from. The first path is just going a flat out burst type champion, which if you choose that path, you want to get something like a Rabadon's into probably a Void Staff into maybe an Hourglass or something of the sort. Something that just gives a lot of AP damage, maybe even a DFG. The second route is geared towards doing more damage in the earlier phases of the game, while also being a bit more sustained. And that item is none other than Liandry's Torment. If you do get this item, you will have a lot more sustained damage and a lot more damage earlier in the game. However, you must take advantage of that and try to scale off of it as hard as you can, which you can then follow it up with the Rabadons, Hourglass, Voice Staff, and any of those type items. The last thing I want to quickly mention is teamfights. Naturally, you play like almost any other caster. You want to be in the back, trying to get some pickoffs, getting the CC with your E, throwing it in your Q for the harass as much as you can. And once the rest of your team, especially the front line, finally does engage, you want to throw off that badass laser of yours, the ultimate, and just do so much damage. His W is also very useful in teamfights as it does a lot of damage in the teamfight since no one will really see it or pay much attention to it. But that's more or less what I want to talk to you guys about for this champion and how to play him. I hope you learned something new. If you have questions, post them down below. And please do throw in a like if you did enjoy this video. You can also check out my friend's channel, Vel'Koz, for more sweet League of Legends action. The description down below contains the link. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and I hope to see you next time. Peace.